Invincible, Series 2, Episode 2, title, In About 6 Hours, I Lose My Virginity to a Fish. That is literally the episode title. I'm looking at Prime right now to remind myself, yep, that's the episode title. And, me who has the acuity of a 12-year-old, I may not laugh at that episode title for 5 minutes before I actually watch the actual episode. So, take that as you will. I don't lie, I might be a little bit I probably was a little bit disappointed, or happily that I didn't saw someone fucking a fish in this episode. I thought, it's all Amazon, but is the Deep going to show up? Is this going to be the boys crossover? I was like, what's going on here? Like, this is such a very unique title. I mean, there's, stuff in the third act. There's stuff in the climax. There's a scene where Invincible is under the sea. He's under the sea. There's an action sequence under the sea. So there's a fist angle to it, but there's no fist fucking. Unless you count fist fucking as like punching, a fight scene. It's like, I'm gonna fuck you up, unless you count that. But like Mark going wet willy on a fish. No, there's none of that. No, there's none of that. Sadly or unsadly, depends who you are. I don't know what emotion I have. I really don't. But this episode is really, really well done. This is a really well done episode where you got two storylines going around, and it just proves why this show is good. It shows why, like, it's not your typical, like, okay, it's anime, it's superheroes, it's a show about action sequence. No, there's a lot of character growth here. And you got stuff with Mark, who just wants to put... It is like a hammer home thing. It is like what I said last week. He's Peter Parker. It's what if Superman was Peter Parker, where Peter is normally a character who will take the responsibility, even if it isn't his fault, onto his shoulders. And this is what Mark is doing. Last week he's like, I'm back in the field, Cecil. I want to work for you. You call me whenever you need me. And you're like, okay. And Cecil's a fine kid. If you want to do that, I'll totally let that happen. But, what you realize in this episode is the reason he's back in the field, the reason he is with Cecil fighting whatever in like the first, in every being in a workaholic fashion, is he wants to prove to the world that he's not his dad. He wants to prove to himself that he's not his dad. And it's always this improvement. So he's constantly like on this workaholic thing of like stopping this bad guy, stopping bad guy at number A, bad guy number B, bad guy number C, bad guy number 5, the lizard lead and all that, and you just like feel the swings of it, and you can even feel Debbie feeling that sort of swings of it, and understand like because of Only Man, she knows why Mark is acting this workaholic way, and it's killing her, it's swaying her. You can tell she just wants to move along and move on with her life and pretend this man never existed. And it's just like a simple, like the scene where she's like, there's a whole like I would say gag, but a whole thing about a covered door unable to close, and she's absolutely frustrated with it, and goes out on that cupboard door and go, fuck you, motherfucker, fuck you, with anger and sad and disgust of it, and you just go, yeah, but it is, it's basically her saying fuck you, saying fuck you, Nolan, fuck you, Angry Man. It's just, it's it's some really well done character stuff while having all the superhero action there. you also got stuff doing with Eve, and what you have is Eve wants to be damage control, which is a reference to a Marvel comic thing where it's like the people who clean up after the superheroes, right? She wants to be that. She doesn't want to punch the bad guys. She wants to be the superhero for the people of the streets, where she wants to help to rebuild all the destructions after a fight happens. And on paper it sounds great, but what you have is you got, like the citizens is like, yay, well done, Adam Eve, you're doing these remarkable things, but in reality, you got all these workers that are like, fuck you. Well, it's a classic thing is you get paid, but you don't feel the payment is worth. That's the thing with work. Like, everybody jokes about, like, oh, I would love to have someone do my work for you. Would you, though? Because I think as human beings, if someone say, here's some cash, and, and I think as human beings, we want to, like, the idea, when you work, the award is you get money. And what happens is, there's no work, but you get money. And for some people, there's that, you feel like you didn't earn it because someone else did it for you. And you got those people out there who's like, fuck, construction workers, like, what do you fucking think we're doing? You think you can just show up and all that? Where you do this and do that? And it feels very Marvel-y. Like, it feels like Season 1 is like a very DC-esque kind of approach to the superhero in a very bloody, gory, character-driven way. Because in the comics, it's like DC is the ones where we go, yay, superheroes rock, and then like Marvel is like the citizens and the world is like superheroes suck. Because even like Eve's dad is like, look, you're thinking, hey, I have a daughter who's able to just snap her fingers and stuff appears, and we're in financial debt, and we're having trouble keeping a roof over our heads. I should use it, and they're happy to like pop up the food and have like having groceries and fruit salads and fruit bowl and salads everywhere. By a snap of our fingers, and it's able to turn an apple to gold, so we can have a couple grand, have a couple thousands that will pay the bills for months. No, it's not grateful, because once again, it's you didn't earn it. Because like the mom seems to be all happy for it, but it's like, your dad's gonna freak out about this, and you realize, like, I mean, let's be honest, Eve's dad is a dick. Let's be out there. Dad, Eve's father is a bit of a dick. Pretty easy to say that. But you realize he is very old-fashioned. He is like, I am the man in the house. I am meant to provide food on my table, food on the table for my family, for my wife, for my kids, for all this kind of stuff, and I'm unable to do so. Oh shit, my daughter's doing it for me. This is not how it's meant to go. This is not how it's meant to be. So you can tell he's like, and he affronts him and say, stop being the man in the house. Accept help. Stop being stubborn. Just accept it. You need help. And then you find out like he's a bit of a J. Jonah Jameson, that like, hero, you're dangerous. You're destruction everywhere and all that. And it's you just go, this is some really well put. I'm really liking this. Really am. Meanwhile, this episode's having like Wex being jealous that, Ultimate Man is having a relationship with like the member of the team of the guys that he's into, and meanwhile you're having these big action sequences at Washington. You have these big action sequences under the sea that evolves like trial by combat. Like meanwhile, that's all happening. You got these like really stories, and then you got the post-credit sequence that's clearly hinting that a villain, which is blanking on my head, blanking the mind of the character, is going through the multiverse and trying to capture or kill every mark through the multiverse. So he doesn't, so the reality that he has seen where it's Omni-Man and Invincible teaming up and being dictators to the world, dictators to Earth, I would dictators to the Earth to avoid it to happen. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of interesting. I quite like it because I'm like, okay, that's what we're leading up to. I mean, knowing this is a 2-part, this is a we're technically halfway through part one. It'll be interesting. Are we quick bowling it? Are they treating this as kind of 2 seasons into one? Like it'll be quite interesting how they're gonna when they're thinking a good endpoint or a good you know what? Omni-Man's going to show up in episode 4. I think that's going to be the big what the fuck moment. That's what I think. But anyway, comment below what you think of this episode. Let me know.